Hello and welcome to day 18. Hopefully you can see my whole body. I can't quite tell because my camera is quite far away from me. So we've been looking at what it feels like to ground our feet on the earth, what it feels like to just use a grounding mat. But since I'm a yoga teacher, I thought it would be remiss of me not to mention and show you some grounding yoga poses. Now, if you do these on the earth, barefoot, they're even more powerful, but if you just need to get centered and grounded, then these are great poses to look at. One that you might be super familiar with is just standing in Tadasana. So this is called mountain pose. If you just stand with your feet hip width apart, let your arms open, drop your tailbone to the ground and open up your chest, chin level with the floor, you will start to really connect and feel very grounded. I'm just going to get myself centered, my OCD kicking in, there we go. So if you just stand here, close your eyes and bring your awareness into the soles of your feet. Allow the energy to travel down through the soles of your feet and up through your crown. Soften your knees, keep the joints soft but active, if that makes sense. So we're not locking our joints and we're not standing super rigid. We are standing in our own presence, in our own power. Now you can stand outside and do this. You can sweep your arms up, inhale the majesty of the universe and breathe up to the heavens, and then pull that down through the crown and down into your body, and you'll feel yourself come alive and being energized. We can either stop here at our belly, the dantian, the hara, the center of power, or we can place our hands over our heart space. And then again, just breathe a few breaths in. From there, if you like, you can try a balancing pose of a tree pose once you feel grounded and centered, coming onto one leg, softening the joints again, and either just bringing the foot to the ankle. Those toes could graze the ground if you're not so good with your balance, or the foot can come to the shin, or even higher. What you don't want to do is pop the foot over the knee. So if you're going higher, you're going to come up to the inner thigh, press your heel into the thigh and your thigh into the heel. Ground down through your foot. Tree pose is one of the oldest yoga poses out there, yoga asanas. This is a really beautiful, focusing, grounding position. So again, you're going to visualize the roots of the tree sending down through the foot and into the ground. You can have your hands in front of your heart space, or you can grow the branches of your tree up and again have the arms open and be receptive to the universe. You can have the hands together if that feels good, fingertips together. If you're really focused, then you can play with the sway of your tree. Trees are strong. They're rooted into the earth. They're very grounded, but they are flexible. They bend unless they get pushed too far, and then they'll break. So what we want is to know our limits and never go past those limits. Just stay within what we know we're capable of. You can test the limits bit by bit by bit as you grow taller and stronger and embrace your power more. You can start sending your energy out and pushing your limits a little bit more, but it's baby steps, consistent steps, just like our daily grounding practice. So you can do this on both sides. And the trick to finding your balance is not to grip your toes and dig them into the floor, but really feel like you are rooted to the earth. And think about the energy rising up, so the sap rising through your body, energy rising up, keeping you nice and connected to the heavens as well. And of course, having a focal point totally helps. So from our tree pose, mountain pose, I was taught downward dog as mountain pose, pavatasana. Other people learnt it as downward facing dog, Adho Mukha Svanasana. I didn't learn that. My tradition taught me as mountain pose. And it makes sense because when you come down into your V, you're like a great big mountain, the tail lifting to the sky, the feet and the hands grounded to the earth. So this is a beautiful grounding pose, especially if you're doing this outside, your feet and your hands totally connected to the energy of the earth, and then reaching that energy up through the legs and up through the spine and wiggling it out through your tail. So this is a beautiful pose to keep you nice and grounded. Then you can drop down into your child's pose. which is a lovely restorative pose, and it's a lovely pose that brings you into yourself, connects you to your present moment, and allows you to just turn within. Plus, we get to bow down to the earth here. We get to really connect to the earth in our child's pose. The hands don't have to be extended in front. They could be, sorry, you might not be able to hear me all the way over here. They could be down by the sides there. So those are a few poses that are super grounding, super earthing. Any warrior pose as well that's really grounded, any standing poses, they're super grounding and very strengthening. So those are just a few things we can think about when we're in our yoga poses on how to become really grounded, really connected, really earthed. And as I said, if you do this outside on the grass or on the sand at the beach, you will feel very energized and very alive. Give it a go. See how it feels. Even just standing in your own power. Stand under a big tree. These are beautiful poses that connect you to your essence and to the earth's essence. So that is our little look at how to be grounded in ourselves. You can do this in your home without connecting to the earth, but have the intention that you're just sending those roots down into the earth. So for example, if you're in your warrior two, we spread our legs nice and wide. We have our feet in alignment. So in this case, my back foot is pointing to you. My front foot is pointing forward. My shoulder, my hip, my knee, and my foot are in alignment. I don't want my knee to drop in. So I want to harness the strength of my inner thigh. I want to spread my foot into the earth. Same with the back leg. I want to connect to the back edge of the foot, pull the energy up through the arches of my feet and draw it up through the center of my body. So I feel nice and grounded and strong, and I can spread my arms out. I don't want to chase anywhere. I don't need to chase my warrior. I can just stay centered, strong in my warrior two. Or I can come into my warrior one. All of these kind of standing poses are strengthening, grounding, and they really bring us into the present moment. Because if you wobble, you're going to fall. And we don't want to fall in our practice. We want to be strong. We want to be sturdy. We want to be earthed. I will see you tomorrow, and we'll look at something else that will help us stay very connected, present, and grounded and earthed. But in the meantime, make sure you get that outside time. Now, I've committed to not spend so much time outdoors because I want to check how I feel just earthing on my mat. And I forgot to bring it in here with me today, so I wasn't able to put out my earthing yoga mat, but I have consistently been sleeping on my other little small earthing mat underneath my sheets on my bed. I, so far, do not feel as energized and invigorated as when I was hanging out outside, walking around. And part of that, obviously, is the exercise, the movement, the breathing of the fresh air. And the other part is my feet getting their mobility onto the earth as well. And I guess the other part is connecting to the earth itself. So yeah, we'll see how we go. I'm going to do the sleeping on the mat for the rest of this time. And we'll see if maybe a compound interest happens, and the more I do it, the better I feel, or not. Super interesting. I will talk to you very soon.